So, today, I plan on playing Thrive, which is technically free, but I pay for it because I really like this game and I want to see it succeed. So basically I asked, hey, what type of run should I do by choosing a food source? Because if my food source is the sun, then I'm not going to start at the hydrothermal vents. Yeah, but if I'm gonna become a plant and basically photosynthesize, then I need to start in the warm pond. If I'm going to be an iron eater, then I want to start in the hydrothermal vents. If I'm going to be a heat eater, which requires me to turn off lock, then I want to start in the life as we know it lock. Then I need to start in the hydrothermal vents. If I'm going to be a hunter, it doesn't really matter where I spawn, but some places are easier to perform the hunt in, and there's also the option of being a grazer, a prey animal, and just walking around and eating whatever. Thing is, I'm really bad at deciding which of those to do by myself. So I asked a friend, he read my message, and then left me on red. As such, I don't know what I'm doing yet. And apparently I have decided to become a fly, and I am just rubbing my arms together. Understood. It has been decided. To the warm little pond we go, because we have been decided to be have our food source as the sun, which means we're being plants, which isn't the most interesting thing to watch, but it is pretty fun in my opinion.
Sorry, before the late reply, I was watching the Fat Electrician.
And this button. Welcome to the tide pool. The Karja Police tide pool. Whee! Oh, there's food. So, the way that this game works is the longer you survive, because I haven't changed the settings from default, I didn't change off lock, but the longer you survive, the closer you just get to evolution. You don't need to actually specifically seek out resources for evolution, but if you do, you evolve faster, so. But yeah, there's 5 food sources, and so it really depends on what food source I want to go for, and for that I needed help.
Just like
because there's the sun if you decide to become a plant. There's the hunt where you decide to hunt other cells, because you can just engulf other single-celled organisms and devour them.
Yeah.
There's iron. Don't know how you did that. There's the thermoplast, which requires life as we know it to be turned off, and it gives you an ability that doesn't exist in the real world, but theoretically could have existed, which is... Hello. So we live in a tide pool, I think. There's no reason to leave the tide pool. But yeah, there's like nitrogen and everything. If I go into the editor, Cycloids, photosynthesis.
Synthesis.
Excuse me. Yeah, so hydrogenase turns glucose into ATP, which is what our cells actually use to do stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, it turns glucose into ATP and is more effective the less oxygen there is in the environment. Then there's metabolisms, which are proto-mitochondria. The more oxygen they have, the more effective they are, but they basically do the same thing as Hydrogenase, they just are more effective in a high oxygen environment. Nitrogenase is the ability to produce ammonia in an area, not... If I go into here, yeah. Produces ammonia from nitrogen and ATP. Also performs glucolysis to produce ATP from glucose, which is, yeah, it's not useful for staying alive, so it's not a food source. You got rustacinin, which produces turns iron into ATP. Based off the carbon dioxide rates, to which I think the carbon dioxide rates are better when you're lower. Oh, cool. Turns hydrogen sulfide into glucose, which is easier at thermal vents, but basically just allows you to, like, become a grazer and just swim around and eat things. Because the more hydrogen sulfide you have, the more glucose you have, the more glucose you have, the more ATP you have, and so long as you live long enough, you create ammonia and phosphate, right? And Toxisome is the hunter's option, basically, where you just produce poison naturally over time. Chemoreceptor, chemical detector, slime jet. Slime jets are intriguing. They produce mucilage, which speeds you up and slows down everything else, which is useful for getting away. Celia, returning speed. Flagellum. Yeah. Is movement speed. Perforator pilus basically is just protection spikes, which at some point we'll probably get. Nucleuses, chemoplast, nitroplast, vacuoles, signaling agents, bioluminescent vacuole, which is to be implemented. Binding agents, mitochondrias, chloroplasts, ferroplasts, lysosomes, toxins. There's everything in this game.
A bunch of science words.
Well, this game is an incredibly... an incredibly realistic thing. It's suggesting I grow phycoloids, or in other words, get the sun. Yeah. Now here's an interesting choice. I could choose to change my cell membrane from that of a normal basic cell to something like a silica, calcium carbonate, cellulose, or chitin. Which means basically I can become like... This makes me weaker to taking physical damage, but more resistant to toxin damage. Which, if I die enough times, becomes really useful. But yeah, there's a ton of options. And it's best that I just select one and go for it. Fluidity, changes mobility and health. Coloration of my character. Phycoloid. So phycoloids produce glucose based off the intensity of the sunlight and the rate of carbon dioxide. Which basically means that endosymbiosis? Huh! So I could eat other things and then just keep them alive inside me? That's basically what humans did. For the time being, my phycoloids match my osmoregulation, which is a fancy way of saying that so long as I'm not moving, I won't die. Anyways, let's see what type of plant I can become. Plant names are hard and I have no idea what to name my thing. tin. That sounds like something an actual scientist would name a plant in a modern society. Flowering tin. So yeah, in theory, I should be able to sit still and produce glucose. If it was day. It appears to be night. Yeah, it's currently not bright enough for me to do that. Oh, I ate something. I'm just gonna keep eating things for a while. Not that it's my actual food source, but because if I eat 5 things, I gain a new defense strategy. And plus, I plan on changing my cellular membrane, which means at some point I won't be able to eat things, so... And I'd rather not die 5 times to unlock the option. Oh, I can evolve. Alrighty. Oh! That species went extinct! Oxygen protection is too low. Increasing tolerance of oxygen protection. I see, so that increases bioprocess speed. Cycloids come first. Behavior. Membrane. I did not unlock... Oh! I should have unlocked my metabolism. I guess that's because the environment is changing. The speed isn't slow enough. I don't have a nucleus. I guess I might as well put in a rusticity. It would be greatly useful, but... Still got 30 points. Grow a little bigger. That idiot just went and ate poison.
Spore cell stage.
Basically, except it's actually logical.
Had to be bare bones. You spend like very little time in it.
Well, to be fair, apparently Spore had a ton of cut content.
Yeah.
I am full of iron.
I think the thing that has like the most code is the space stage.
Oh hell no! It is the city stage probably.
You spend the most time in the space stage.
Yeah, you spend the most time in the space stage because there's nothing frickin' there.
Fair enough. I usually stop playing at that point.
I think I just got my 3rd engulf, which means we should unlock toxins now. We are not hunters, however I am definitely hunting because I want to get the spikes as a matter of self-defense before we turn into plants. Man, there is a lot of iron in this environment.
Arcane Sniper.
I love sometimes just seeing things run as my species just moves. Oh, I ate something. Wait, that wasn't my race? I ate 2 things. Hooray.
Nom nom.
Nom nom!
Nom nom.
Yeah, now we have the Toxisome, so we can turn ATP into poison, which is useful for self-defense. And we should have the Perforator, which also defends against toxins, which means that having an outside of these allows you to go for physical resistance because you don't have to worry about getting poisoned.
Ooh.
I can turn you into a chloroplast? So I can just turn this guy straight up into more sun efficiency without even needing to get... Huh. Neat. I don't think I can transform for the time being, then. Yeah, metabolisms turns glucose into ATP with more oxygen. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's a chemosynthesizing protein. I don't need that. I need rusticin. Yeah, this turns hydrogen sulfide into glucose, which is only useful if you live by the thermal vents. Now, in theory, I should just hold one of those species inside me, so that way I could turn them into the organelle. I do like the fact that if you're digesting food, you do kind of just start crapping. It is kind of funny to me that you just start expelling all the excess stuff that your stomach couldn't hold.
I just found the VeggieTales April Fool's Day posts.
Is VeggieTales still around? I honestly don't know.
Rebooted, I think. It looks
I know
terrible.
that there was the new version that was made by somebody else that was absolutely trash.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still running. Breaking news, Larry finally finds his hairbrush. The pirates finally get jobs. Where have all the staplers gone returns to Broadway. Larry's pizza order is finally delivered on time.
Pizza Angel, please come to me. That's so funny. So I need to find and re-eat the Mingame Chigula. That sounds annoying, but hey. If that's what it takes, that's what I'll do. Oh, that's intriguing. So I can change the... Way to rotate you, please. Oh well. So I can change how long the flagellum is to make it consume more ATP, but also make us move faster. Fascinating. Hey, this is the HalfSaneFox, and thanks for watching. I'm going to end this video here, and if you like this content, I highly recommend that you check the VOD or just wait for the next episode to release. And maybe click on one of the end screen cards once those finally show up.